So what is the link between vitamin D and acne? It's a link that is so shockingly rarely discussed, but really, we need to be talking about this in order to take control of what is the most psychologically damaging, confidence-destroying conditions out there. It amplifies your anxiety. It makes you feel that you just can't unveil yourself. It is so horrendously problematic because it just affects every aspect of our lives. And the reason being that our faces are, of course, our advert to the world. It tells the world how we feel. It elucidates messages about our health. You often hear comments about, oh, you look radiant or you don't look so well. And so I know from when our skin is so terribly affected with acne. I know from personal experience, I had acne from the age of 30 and onwards, and it was not pleasant, it was not enjoyable, it really, really affected everything about my confidence and actually made me determined to start looking after my skin in a really, really effective way. Being British Indian, unfortunately, comes with compounding issues. Number one is I've got a lot of melanin in my skin, and that stops the absorption of vitamin D through the skin. And B, I live in England. And in this beautiful country, there is barely any sun out there. So what a combination to be bestowed with. Deficiency is devastatingly common throughout Europe and indeed globally around the world. Recent pooled estimates have suggested that around about 40 to 45% of adults, maybe more, have low vitamin D, depending on where you define your cutoff levels. Some countries will go with 30 nanomoles per litre, other countries will go 50 nanomoles per litre. Again, it just depends where the parenthesis lies. And within that, people with darker skin, those living low sun or high latitude countries, for example, Black Americans in the US, South Asians and Middle Eastern heritage adults, are the most severely deficient groups out there, with rates anywhere between 60% right up to 80% in some cohorts. That is really ridiculous. And when we look at the knock-on effects it might have in your health, that is really problematic. It can be devastating, it can be life-altering, it can be psychologically ruinous to have a vitamin D deficiency. It can be energetically a huge problem. You will feel devastated. You won't even know why you feel that bad. You won't be able to think straight. So yes, vitamin D deficiency is one of the most pernicious and problematic things out there, which is for Asian and Black communities much worse, but that is not to say that people of Caucasian skin and lighter skin are immune to having this problem. So we've got to get this dosing and supplementation absolutely right, because quite frankly, diet does not cut it. Okay, so first of all, I would like to say welcome to the channel. Welcome to Elite Wellness Warriors. If you've come back to my channel, really so amazing to see you. If you are new to the channel, oh my God, it's great to have you here. And so if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well, because it helps spread the message of hope to everybody else around the world in and around what you can do about this particular horrible acneic condition. And that's a really important message to spread, because there are so many millions of people, perhaps even billions of people around the world have had at some point or are going through the trauma of having acne as we speak. People with acne are likely to be low in vitamin D. Several studies have found people with moderate acne are often very deficient in vitamin D. The worse the acne, the more severe the deficiency. And so that is, I have to say, correlation rather than causation, but it's really important that we understand why that might be the case. We know that vitamin D has some significant effects in the reduction of inflammation, and acne is an inflammatory condition. Vitamin D helps regulate part of the immune system that drives inflammation, including things like cytokines and interleukins, etc. It can reduce the production of inflammatory mediators that make your spots angry and red, swollen, sore, and actually can help tone down the immune overreaction to a Cutibacterium that causes acneic lesions and acneic eruptions. So if you're deficient, you are sitting in a state of inflammation. And so this is going to make the breakouts much worse. And indeed, it's going to make the pimples angrier, cystic, and painful. That's why our skin tends to be a little bit better in summer. Well, there's two reasons for that, of course. Your sun exposure, the UV, will have an effect in killing the bacteria that causes acne. But also, without question, you will have increased amounts of vitamin D. Vitamin D affects your oil glands. And so you've got sebaceous glands in the skin that are releasing lots of sebum, which is your natural moisturizer, your natural protective barrier. It's a great antioxidant delivery mechanism. It lubricates your hair in the skin. But too much or too thick a sebum level, then of course it's going to block your pores and trigger acne. Vitamin D can influence how much sebum is produced. It can change the makeup, the triglyceride profile, the fatty acid profile of that sebum, and it can therefore affect how much your pores will clog. So vitamin D controls that regulation because your sebaceous glands have vitamin D receptors. Prevalence 2016 did a really good clinical trial, and they gave people with acne who were deficient in vitamin D oral supplementation of 1,000 IUs per day or a placebo for 8 weeks, and they found that the inflammatory acne lesions dropped by around about 34.6% in those that were supplementing vitamin D versus 5.8% who had the placebo for 8 weeks. Truchit in 2024 studied 44 adults with mild to moderate acne and low vitamin D levels. The vitamin D group had significantly fewer inflammatory lesion relapses after stopping treatment. Really important. So when they've got rid of it, it kept it away, which is absolutely amazing because, of course, the vitamin D kept the inflammation down. Can you put vitamin D on your face? Oh my God, no, you cannot. And the reason why is because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. So often you will have to encase that in some kind of an oil. Oil and acne don't mix. For me, even if I put tea tree oil on my face, which is antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, my skin will erupt. It will cause me the worst type of acne, like I regressed 30 years prior and got back to my teenage state. So it's comedogenic. It will cause a problem. So you can't put it topically on your skin, but you can supplement it. So what should somebody actually do with this particular type of information? Well, test your serum vitamin D levels. If it's anything less than 50 nanomoles per litre, you've got a problem. You need to consider supplementation. You need to also consider taking vitamin D3 with magnesium, calcium, and K2. Now, a maintenance dose of vitamin D is around about between 1,000 and 2,000 IUs per day. If you're deficient, then it's likely you might have to go towards the 4,000 IU region, but that's the maximum you should be taking. Schools of thought vary on that, so I'm going to play it safe and go with that particular level as recommended by the NHS. You've got to make sure that you're having the calcium in a 2-to-1 ratio with the magnesium, and the K2 version to take would be MK7, and that would be your gold standard combination. But again, check your levels. You don't want to be overdosing on calcium or magnesium or K2 if you're absolutely normal and fine. You've got to make sure you check out your baseline levels. And there was a meta-analysis done by Wang et al. In 2021 of human studies looking at vitamin D levels in acne. They found that on average, acne patients have lower vitamin D levels than controls. And supplementation in deficient patients shows clinical improvement in inflammatory lesions in those that have acne. So that concludes it all. We know that vitamin D supplementation has a really significant effect in reducing inflammation, in controlling relapses, in ensuring that the prevalence of acne lesions is reduced significantly so. But there's a multitude, a myriad, and a labyrinthine level of benefits of taking vitamin D, and so please do look into that. It's really, really important. And if you have got acne, if you've got skin problems like acne lesions, whether it be cystic or pimples or whatever it might be, I have lived through that. It is a nightmare. I struggled with it for so many years, right from teenagehood to adulthood. You can see this little pesky little bugger here. But comparative to what used to be on the entire skin, this is a lot better than it ever used to be. And that's because of vitamin D. It is also, actually, as a side note, I will say that if I would have sugar, chocolate, or whatever it might be like that, in the old days, I would erupt like it would be absolutely horrific. And I know that now, I've had for the last couple of days, I might have had a little bit of chocolate. I got a little tempted because I've been working very hard and I thought I'm going to treat myself. So I had chocolate yesterday, I had chocolate the day before. And I've got no spots. That's actually just a blemish left over from absolutely ages ago. So it works, it's brilliant, it's really effective, and I will never promote something without, of course, knowing that it works for me, looking at the research out there, and obviously coming to an informed decision before I can ever record anything like a video to promote any of these supplements to you wonderful, wonderful, and beautiful souls out there. So if you want to check out any more videos, then please click here and click here. And those will elaborate and elucidate a little bit more about vitamin D. So weaponize that to improve your gut health. Weaponize that to make sure that the vitamin D's and B's combine together to give you that mitochondrial powerhouse. And of course, please don't forget to join Elite Wellness Warriors on Instagram and indeed Facebook. You'll find the QR code here, and you'll find the QR code here to check it out and scan away. And I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video. May you be enveloped in beautiful and healing light always, my friends. And I wish you the very deepest wellness from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Lots of love.